At 17 weeks pregnant, I was diagnosed with a rare combination of complications that threatened the life of both myself and my unborn child. One complication needed to heal in order for me to get a life-saving surgery for the other. I was shocked, I was scared, I was heartbroken at the thought of losing my first child. As you can imagine, this was quite a life disruptor. All I could do was try to keep my mental and emotional state together to give my body a fair chance for survival and keep my business afloat because the bills don't stop. At 24 weeks, a miracle happened. My body healed, and I was able to get that baby-saving surgery right in the nick of time. That surgery allowed me to give birth to a beautiful, healthy baby girl full term. Thank you, modern medicine. But what I didn't know was that these complications would become the least of my concerns. In addition to sleep deprivation and massive identity shifts that had me questioning who I was on the daily basis, postpartum depression came knocking at my door. Another major life disruptor. Yet, I kept working. I kept going, I kept pushing, I kept striving for more because, as you know, the bills don't stop. Work doesn't stop, life doesn't stop. Nothing stops in the midst of our great transitions. Nothing stops during our seasons of change, and I was depleted. I was burned out, and I was lonely in my own despair, but this isn't just my story. In many ways, this is all of our stories, maybe not the pregnancy or postpartum depression, maybe not starting or building a business, but many of us would agree that we are overworked, that we are exhausted, that we are taxed mentally, emotionally, physically, maybe even undernourished spiritually, and it has taken a toll. It has taken a toll to the point that we have lost a great connection with ourselves, with our community, and with the world around us. And statistics show that we are stressed out. 76% of American adults say that stress is impacting their health. 76%. But how can we not be stressed when everything that we go through, all the changes in life disruptions, we keep going, pushing, and striving for more, and we rarely slow down to even see if we're okay. We rarely slow down to see if our family, friends, colleagues, or employees are okay. So when well-being has taken a back burner, and burnout is our new norm, how do we counter the chaos? How do we slow down to reconnect to ourselves so that we can be better parents, better leaders, better students, better business owners, better change agents, better humans? How do we reconnect when we're constantly being bombarded with messages to rise and grind, to sleep when you are dead, asking mothers to bounce back mind, body, and paycheck just weeks after giving birth, to have the mindset of productivity over everything which forces us not to be well? That is what I saw. So that is what I believed too. And it was deep in postpartum depression that a mentor and a good friend of mine sat me down and said, Look at all that you have been through in such a short period of time, yet you haven't acknowledged it, you haven't processed it, and you definitely haven't been taking care of yourself. And she was right. I just kept going, sweeping everything that I felt under the rug in pursuit of whatever was next. Have you ever done that? It is this way of thinking and being that perpetuates this endless cycle of burnout and the mental and emotional crises that we're all in. So again, how do we slow down to reconnect, to move and navigate through life's change and disruptions, but be well in the process? The same mentor then asked me a really random question. She said, "What do you do in the morning?" And as I leaned in to try to comprehend all that she was telling me, I realized I needed to create space to process all that I was growing through, and I also need to do something with my mornings. And it was there that I made a conscious decision to change how I start my day. I started to use my mornings to discover, to heal, to unlearn unhealthy patterns, and to take care of myself, to overcome all of these challenges of change, little by little, day by day. And what developed from this very consistent morning practice was one question in particular. What do I need today? This is now the first question that I ask myself every morning before I even open my eyes. This simple yet potent question has changed my life, and I know that it will change yours. Because it changes my life on the mornings that I wake up with anxiety. It changes my life on the mornings that I'm questioning who I am and what the purpose of all of this really is. What do I need today? This question sparks a light within our brain and in our body. It instantly allows you to be present and focused on your well-being. Boom, it's mindfulness, it's introspection, it is self-care. It is everything that you need when we are growing through massive amounts of change. Because on any given day, we are moving through two types of change. Expected change, that's the kind of change that you pursue because you're ready for it. And then there's unexpected change. That's the kind of change that blindsides you. It can be as big as a global pandemic, we were there, right? Losing your job, an unexpected diagnosis, or as small as a flat tire, a sick kid, or someone altering your mood. But all of these are changes that we're having to navigate through. But instead of slowing down to process with our well-being in mind, we tend to just push forward to the finish line, or we spiral into anxiety or depression because it feels like we have lost control. So this question, what do I need today, allows us to control what we can from the very beginning. So as I lie there, on the verge of waking up, but before I get up, I ask myself, what do I need today? And the answers range far and wide. It can be as simple as, girl, you need water. You are dehydrated, as so many of us are. And I don't know if you know, but dehydration can lead to irritability, anxiety. Our brain has to work so much harder, and our cognitive ability becomes impaired, which isn't great for learning and working, I'm gonna guess. So on the mornings when you wake up and you feel like the world is crashing and burning all around you, it could be, or you could just be thirsty. But you're not tending to that need. So it's right there, with that quick check-in with myself. Instead of reaching for the juice, the coffee, or even the smoothie, I'm gonna go get what my body is really craving, which is a very tall glass of water. Other answers that I receive may be, I need connection today. Maybe a hug, physical touch. I need to show my kids extra love today. We've been a little disconnected lately. Or I need to move my body because it has been days, weeks, months since I've worked out or just danced for fun. All of these are cues that you can respond to right away. The question itself becomes a part of your morning routine, and the actions that you take become a part of the daily ritual for honoring your needs. What do I need today? You may be thinking, why ask this question in the morning? Why is that so important? Well, here are a couple of neuroscience and psychological facts that you can keep in mind for your back pocket. The morning time is the most impressionable time for altering your habits. So when you are needing to develop new habits or behaviors, it's here where it's going to click. And then you become more aware of your own circadian and ultradian rhythms. Those are your natural biological rhythms that, when worked with properly, will help boost your productivity, your energy, and your willpower. And by asking this question first thing in the morning, it will help set the tone for the day so that you regulate your mental, emotional, and physical health. What do I need today is a question that slows you down. It's a gateway question. It's one that will help you process and feel through the change that you may be experiencing at any given time, instead of spiraling out of control and coming up with all kinds of different actions that will not help support your day or the life disruptions that you're going through. What do I need today is a question that you can ask to take care of yourself before you pour into everything and everyone else. We all heard the cliche saying you can't pour from an empty cup. But that doesn't even take into account that some of our cups are broken, and some of us don't have a cup to start with. For the last half decade, I have been teaching and coaching on creating morning routines and rituals that help you navigate through your seasons of change and help you move forward through the disruption that may be caused in your life, your leadership, or your work. And although I do have a framework and structure around what I teach, I find that the simple question of what do I need today is a place that we can all start, because it will lead to intuitive routines, rituals, and decisions that will support your well-being in real time right now. I'm sure we've all heard countless theories on what it takes to have a successful morning routine. Some will tell you that you have to wake up at 4 or 5 a.m. because if you don't want it bad enough. Others will push you towards a more productivity-centric routine, right? How much can you get done before the whole world wakes up so that you are ahead of the game? And you might have heard, if you don't have a formulated morning, then you are not successful, because all successful people have one. That is what the internet tells you. Basically, you are being urged to get everything you want done for yourself finished before the kids wake up, before school starts, before work even begins. But what if you can't? What if on any given day your needs are greater than a glass of water or a simple movement? And what if you need more time? More time to feel better, more time to breathe and get clear, more time to feel whole? Whose responsibility is that? Society would suggest that it is your sole responsibility. But like Oprah says, here is what I know for sure. Personal growth isn't just personal, it's collective. I believe that well people create well environments, and well environments breed well people. So this has led me to an even bigger question. What do we need today? You see, I didn't only self-care my way through postpartum depression. My mom, who would help watch my daughter so that I could tend to my needs in the morning, community. Circling with my friends and colleagues so they can keep my sanity intact, community. Having resources and access to coaches and facilitators, community. You see, self-care is amplified by community care, people and places that provide a system of support. So what do I need today is the catalytic question for every individual to help you take a moment to assess your needs, do a quick check-in, see where you are, and then create a pathway for your well-being. But what do we need today? That is the question for every organizational leader in the workplace and in schools, because that impacts billions of people's lives. Did you know that 64% of college students drop out because of mental health problems, while 48% of them believe that mental health directly impacts education? 72% of entrepreneurs are directly and indirectly impacted by mental health, just compared to 48% of non-entrepreneurs. While globally, 33%, only 33% of employees believe that they are thriving in their well-being. And that's what happens when our needs are not met. So as you begin to look towards the bigger, better, best solutions to fulfill your KPI strategic initiatives and 5 to 10-year visions, we cannot dismiss the cries for help, right? The great resignations and great breakups and quiet quitting, all of these are big red flags that have been waving fiercely since the pandemic, but I'm sure long before that. But the pandemic has amplified it. And so this is a cry out for attention, for the well-being of your people. This simple question of what do I need today can create a ripple effect of positive change and possibilities throughout teams, departments, and campuses, and help us move away from this hustle culture that is driving us into the ground. This question can also spark empathy, understanding, and impact all the initiatives. When we think about DEI, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and ESG, environmental, social, and corporate governance, at the base of all these initiatives essentially is well-being. What does it take for us to thrive in our bodies? What does it take to thrive in our institutions, in our communities, on this planet? Imagine if we were to tend to those needs from the very beginning of the day, how it would impact natural productivity, performance, engagement, culture, and morale. The future of well-being starts in the morning. It's going to take self-care and community care. Everyone should be asking, what do I need today? Organizational leaders, you can ask that same question and then say, what do we need today? And I'll leave you with this. These questions will not only help you change your morning, these questions will help you change how you work, they will help you change how you lead, and how you create a culture of well-being and care. Thank you.